Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's indoor adventure in the wild beyond the Witchlight, Coup de Toad, Part 8. Today is February 2000. Okay, here, for all of you Dyscalculia fans out there, it's 2/20/2022.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's great. It's super fun for people like me who can't read numbers so good. So, February 20th, 2022, and you are loved. That is especially important today, again, for us Dyscalculia folks. If this is your first time joining us, you can go to youtube.com/indooradventures to check up on all of the VODs of each of the games that we have played up until this point, or you can go towards where Anywhere audiocasts are made available for free. You can find us there under the same moniker. And speaking of things that are being made available for free, if you can feel free to join us at patreon.com/indooradventures, where we have our after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from each other, but also from the community. That community being either the Twitch chat that you can find to the side or our Discord. You can find the link in the Twitch chat to the side over yonder or in the description of this video or audiocast down below. Again, it's free. Come on by, join us. It's a great time. It's just being hosted on Patreon, so that way, you know, if you decide that you do want to help support the show, we're not going to turn you away. But let's say you already support us on Twitch and YouTube and Patreon and all of those other wonderful places, and you're trying to think to yourself, where can I go to help support this fantastic show even more? Guess what, buddy? I got your back. Quite literally, in fact, because if you go to indooradventure.redbubble.com, we got t-shirts, we got posters, we got mugs, we got crop tops, throw pillows, shower curtains, aprons, mugs, clocks, and I don't know where it is right now. It's hidden on my desk somewhere. We also have face masks with the symbol of Tiamat upon them, designed by our very own Cyberwolf1201. So, if you would like to help support a good cause, since all of the proceeds of those masks end up going to help support Doctors Without Borders, or you'd like to help support the show, you can again go to indooradventure.redbubble.com. That is indooradventure, no S at the end, .redbubble.com. But that is it for my opening spiel. So, hey RJ, who are you playing today?
Hey everybody, I'm RJ, and today I'm playing Vice, the Tiefling Rogue.
Hey y'all, I'm Sarah. I will be playing Lowry Moon, the Hexblood Spore Druid.
And I am Mediaflare. I am going to be playing Pamferdam Roski, the incredibly tired gnome artificer.
Hey, I'm Wings, also known as Danae Keener. I'm going to be playing as Clout, the rock-hard tiefling bard.
Nice. I am the Indoor Adventurer, he, him, and tonight I shall be your Dungeon Master. So, let's have a wee bit of a recap, shall we? It's been a whole week since we played, and there were, you know, some things that happened that might be a little prevalent going into today's session. So, broad stroke recap. You all met up at the Witchlight Carnival. After progressing through a mirror, found yourself atop the Queensway. Descending down from the Queensway, you realized that you were in a swampy, horrible place called Hither, where one of you, being a Miss Lowry Moon, ended up giving a precious memory to a group of brigands who were, as they put it, robbing you. After this robbery was had, the group decided that they were going to go to the Brigands' Tollway to regain that lost memory, and by I say the group, I really just mean Clout and Vice, decided that it was for the best for the group to do this. Upon their journey there, Harangon, by the name of Ted, who is apparently known for the best breakfast this side of Hither, met an untimely demise as Vice used a ball and chain in a way similar to a whip to knock his ass out. Lowry was upset about this, as there has been a death that was attributed to people doing things in her name. This was a bad time had by all, as giant roots wrapped themselves over the house or the inn at the end of the road where you all had been making your stay. Joining forces to make sure that the house did a thriller dance, you found yourselves then outside of Downfall, having made the house a little bit happier from the overall negativity that was there around, you know, a dead body. It was at that point inside of Downfall that you were told multiple times that you should speak to the Bullywug King, the king of the Soggy Court, King Gullop the 19th. While speaking to King Gullup the 19th, Clout, you received a message in Sylvan that stated, let me see here, just so that way I have the right words, the correct verbiage on this. This is why I prepare my notes. So that way, I clearly have all of this. Oh, I wasn't even
The
on
revolution
that page.
is nigh. Seek Illig.
The revolution lives.
Lives.
Yes,
There we go.
find Illig, the Baron of Muckstup, at once. At this point, Clout, you and Lowry were like, I don't really know about this because King Gullup the 19th was trying very hard, using kind of some shady rules to get you two to join the Soggy Court, saying that that was the only way that you were going to be able to talk to Bavlorna Blightclaw. You politely declined multiple times, in which case King Gullup lost his trust in you and then put you all into a prison where, Vice, you were then able to, well, pretty easily steal the one key that they had in order to help yourselves get out. And in doing so, having allowed yourselves to get out, you were joined by a friend, a former rabble rouser, I would say, by the name of Morgort. And Morgort, who was a former knight of the Soggy Court, had also been imprisoned for trying to stage a rebellion of some sort. Freeing her, the lot of you decided, okay, we got to find this Illig guy as we are on our way to, you know, talk to Bavlorna. Crossed over a river, went up a hill. There was a big spooky looking Tim Burton tree full of sprites. The sprites said some nasty things, to which Clout decided that I'm going to use a vicious mockery on one of these things. And that's when things went wrong. The tree came to life, then attacking your party. Lowry, you attempted to use a speak with plants to dissuade the tree, saying it's okay if we were just attacking those evil sprites that lived inside of you, to which it said, my children. So, you know, maybe not a bad time. Clout, being caught in the jaws of this large tree, ended up getting nommed something fierce. And Pamferdam, as you had climbed up the side of this tree to try and heal Clout, or at least pull him back out, Clout met with an untimely end and proceeded to get flung from the tree's mouth. As the tree flung Clout and Clout landed in front of Lowry, you watched as this purple tiefling that you have come to know as somewhat of a friend turned to stone in front of you. And Pamferdam, you being on the side of this tree, whose name is Big Barkless. Big Barkless looked down at you and grumbled in common, very loudly and very plainly, reciprocity. And that is where we ended last week's session. So, that would have been during Big Barkless's turn on the initiative count, which would have been 10. So, Vice, it is you and Lowry. This tree seems like it is not necessarily in a hostile mood, but it is ready to it's ready to stand its ground and defend itself should y'all continue to fuck with it. And the fact that it has what looks like blood coming from one of its eyes, as, you know, Vice did throw a dagger through one of the sprites that was inside of the hollow of the tree.
Straight through.
Straight through. That dude had like 2 HP, and you fucking nailed it. Good job.
Yay. Oh, Lord.
Now, where you are at currently, there is Big Barkless behind you, a decent bit through the fog. You can see that there are what look to be some tall mushrooms actually growing. And then there is a pathway that leads down towards a bridge where, Pamferdam, you had taken your new companion, Clapperclaw, whose voice I'm still obviously working on, to try and get to safety.
It's a golem. It's understandable. His voice is
Yeah.
weird.
He's a little
And-
boy with a gourd head.
Pamferdam is still on the tree, correct?
Pamferdam is on the tree, but the tree does not look like it is going to be like... If it is going to be attacking Pam, it is going to be to swipe him off. It is not going to be to try and aggress.
Vice wraps the ball and chain around his arm, looks over to the tree and back down to where Clout is laying, puts up both his hands, and slowly backs away.
Okay. Lowry?
Does Clout still weigh the same? Petrified?
A lot less that he's in pieces now.
He's not in pieces.
Oh, he's not in pieces?
He's not
supposed to-
shattered. Because his body fell and then turned to stone.
Ah, okay.
I would say yes. That Clout. Let's say it's like Clout, but like weight wise is like 1.25 more than Clout would normally weigh.
That with some extra legs. Got it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Clout's a
I'm just
centaur
looking
now,
at my
confirmed.
negative strength modifier and seeing if I even want to try and roll to drag him away. Yeah, she won't. Yeah, she'll. I'm just gonna get my Pamferdam down. Just, please don't turn me into stone too. She's gonna go over and give Pam a hand.
Okay. So yeah.
Will willingly let go of the tree.
Yep, and as you all just like, nope. The tree, you can see like its large branches that looked like reaching fingers then just sort of like relax. But it's still like you can tell that it is eyeing your group. And as you look back, you can see that Whisper is sort of like just like floating around Clout. And like doing the like kind of like booping against him.
We will come back for him later.
Yeah. Pamferdam, you don't have anything that can carry Clout, do you? Anything with wheels?
No, not right now.
What is everyone's strength?
I've got a 10.
9.
Oh, I got 12. I'm heckin' strong in this group.
You're the strongest party member now, Pam.
I don't know
voice
if
of
that's a
reason-
good thing.
The voice of reason and the strongest party.
Pam, you
You're
see
the tank of the
that
house now,
towards the
Pam.
bridge, peeking out from a rock, are 2 lobster claws and a gourd. From what your understanding is of constructs, Clapperclaw would probably have a decent strength score.
Clapper, you want to come over here and help me with something?
Rattle, rattle, rattle as the coins shake, and then Clapperclaw will make a very wide turn. After getting
Good, all right, good job.
getting even close to what looks like a kind of abandoned house structure that's nearby, and then will approach you and just, how can I help?
Well, okay, so I'm not very strong. I need your help. Can you help me lift the statue?
I think so. Are we?
Okay.
Do you want to take its arms and I'll take its legs? Do we just hold on?
No,
To
you
the
you
horns
take
on the
arms, I'll
front?
take legs. I'll just hold the legs up over my head so that we're carrying it horizontal.
I'll try
I
my
am very
best not
small.
to clamp with these. I know that they're not made for.
Yeah, don't stress about it too much. Do what you can. All right.
Okay. I like to help.
Oh,
Aw.
here. This might help. Lowry's gonna take off of her cloak, which is pretty threadbare to begin with, and rip it in two and make padding for Clapperclaw's claws.
Oh, nice.
Okay, yeah. Clapperclaw's much happier having these
Mhm.
giant sock things on his claws. So
Is Clout's equipment and clothing and stuff stone as well, or is it just their like organic self like that is stone?
that is a good question. Let me check.
Because we could also reduce some weight by tossing off some armor and
Yeah.
backpack.
Yeah, by stripping
Logistics.
this guy.
Let's griff the stone body.
Okay. Ba-ba.
I'm sure Clout won't mind. You see one body, you seen a ball.
It is.
I don't
the
know. There's a lot of
creature-
interesting anatomies out there.
It is the creature's. It says the creature's corpse turns to stone, so I'm guessing it's just the meat and potatoes.
Okay.
Okay, all
Uh,
right. Before we lift this up, can someone help me take off this armor?
I got it.
Not comfortable about you talking about my potatoes.
Vice will just grab the bag off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so are you taking Clout to the mushroom field, to the house, or down past the bridge?
Is the house close to the water as well?
There is another house that is closer to the water, but as far from what you're seeing is that north to south. North is
Oh, yeah, we have a
the there should be a map in there.
Yep.
North is Big Barkless, and then to the south, southeast, you can see the mushroom field, and then just right next to the southeast is a little hut.
We are in the southeast quadrant.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
next
Where
to
that
the
big
large
white
white-looking
tree is,
tree. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a house bottom right that's closest.
We could try the house.
Yeah.
Although that
Right.
mushroom field does look very nice.
Well, it's right next to the house. We can check it out while we move the body inside. Come on. All right, Clapper. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Please lift with your knees, buddy.
He like leans with his back, just like
No,
construct.
no, buddy. Okay.
And,
Okay.
Together with Clapper Clout, we'll lift and carry Clout's new statue into Clout's new home.
Okay. And as you approach, this hut has a steep thatch roof. A small wooden chest rests in the middle of the floor, and scattered around it are 6 fraying silk cushions. The air in here carries the stench of decaying fish. A lit brazier hangs from a rafter, providing the dwelling's only light.
Hello? Is anyone here?
It seems empty.
Well, I suppose we could leave him in here with a note.
All right. Okay. Come on over here, Clapper. All right. Yeah. All right. This corner over here. All right. Slowly. We don't want to drop it. All right. 1, 2.
And Morgort, who is also with you and probably could have helped with the lifting of Clout, being a knight and all, was definitely not forgotten. And she says, looking at your group, that was a little close for call. If you'd like, if we need to find Illig, I can go out and scout ahead. Otherwise, I'm more than happy to sit here, take watch, guard the door, so in case anyone tries to come in, they will be looking for us. We're all escaped convicts at this point.
Your people have a history of desiccating corpses.
Did you see the bridge?
Yes,
You know.
they do.
Right.
Usually,
Right. If we leave
that's
this body
reserved for
unattended, it's going to be
royalty.
heavily damaged by the time we come back to it. How do we feel right now in terms of combat effectiveness, everybody?
I could use a rest. A long one.
Surprise the day I was born.
Right. I think it's important that we find our way back to our boat and tavern so that we can keep ourselves safe long enough to heal up and figure out a second plan from here. Unless I don't know your layout very well, Morgort, but do you know of any other safe places we can head to along the way towards our current home?
There are the huts. Other than that, not particularly. There are huts, and then of course there's Bavlorna's hut. Hers being the safest. The king would never look there for us. However, and when she says that, you hear just like change rattling as Clapperclaw is like shaking at the idea of
No,
going
it's
into
okay, buddy.
Bavlorna's hut.
Hey, no. It's okay. It's okay.
Do you have anyone sympathetic to you that could heal Clout?
No. No, I do not. If there were sages here who could bring the dead back to life, they would be on the king's side, don't you think? Well,
Not with the way the old kings are stuck on sticks.
that's very true.
But are they loyal?
To the sense and degree that they... Sorry, the acid reflux. They don't participate in our royalties.
Right,
There are
so-
sages that might be able to help, but if you have no affiliation with our courts or any such thing along those lines, I'm not particularly sure how to help.
Do you
If
think
it's-
any of them would side with rebels?
It is their duty to stay apolitical. They side with neither rebels nor rulers. They simply are. They only speak with who's currently in charge.
So if we find this Illig person, there's a chance that they may have a connection with a
Better we
neutral
can
sage.
depose the king and put Illig up on top and have Illig give us permission.
The problem with that being, the longer we take, the longer this is going to get. The longer this is, the harder this is going to be to fix.
Right. I don't think this thing being any successful if we make it last longer than a day. So the revolution has to happen now.
We could talk to Blightclaw.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Neither do I.
What are you going to bargain with to get Clout back?
I'll
Your own
find a
life?
way.
I'm really
Hag's
not
dealing-
willing to do any bargaining with Blightclaw right now.
Hag's dealing a give and take. I don't think she's the kind of hag who will look kindly upon people trespassing in her territory. Especially those that already want to get rid of her.
No.
You said that you had sanctuary outside. The
Yeah.
Right.
only issue I might see with that is that, well, the king may be on high alert with a prison break.
Moving the house over this way or going to it, probably a
When
little.
you say move the house, I'm sorry, could you...
The house
Oh,
has
it
legs.
has feet. Yes.
Yeah, it's a mobile home.
It's wonderful.
All right. That's, if memory
Uh,
served, from the inn at the end of the road?
Yes.
Yeah.
I see. That might be looked on as a siege weapon if you bring that here.
I don't feel too good about that.
All right. Just so I can make an understanding real quick. Are we or are we not going to try any type of revolution?
The
Very
revolution
gung-ho
I
about this.
personally am on board for.
Well, then a siege weapon would make a great intimidating show for you.
I
Even if we
think
don't
that-
have to use it in combat.
I think that takes more time and planning than we have time for.
Good old assassination.
What type of planning do we need? We're the ones who would be operating it, right? So we're already ready to go once we do it.
And what are you going to do when you depose the current power and leave a void? Put someone in that you have absolutely no idea who they are?
I have nothing to do with their government. Right now, I have a need for a means to an end. We need to talk. We need to get to the Blight Claw and get our stuff dealt with.
Pragmatic.
And now we have a kid who's in trouble too that we need to take care of. We really can't kind of just
Flapper claw. Mitten hands.
Listen, let's go talk to Illig, find out what he's about. And fuck it. If he's all right, we'll start this revolution off.
How fast can you swim?
Pamferdam asks Morgort.
I can swim as quickly as I run.
Are you really good at swimming while holding on to someone?
Not. I'm better at swimming if they're holding on to me.
Okay.
What do you want to do, Pam?
Well, clearly, it might actually be helpful if we have some sort of distraction. Now, I have the ability to make a lot of illusory things, and I'm tiny and really good at hiding. And if, perchance, the rest of the group takes the opportunity of distraction to head towards a secure area, while I throw some pretend fireballs at the king's place, and then, when, you're in the clear, Morgort, you can come, I'll hop on your back, and then we'll swim away as fast as we can to reconvene with the group.
This could work. I think, personally speaking, if Illig is already in the stages of planning his revolution, perhaps a concentrated effort before we make further plans, find Illig, and figure out what it is his plans are.
We could use his resources in our efforts, Pam.
I don't think you understand. I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I think we should find Illig, and I think we should figure out a plan from there.
You're planning several steps ahead.
I'm planning literally the next step, Vice. I'm literally planning the thing we do once we step outside of this door and get started.
And Whisper is just like, whenever Illig is mentioned, just like, Bree.
Now, while we run a distraction, you can follow Whisper. It kind of seem like they know where Illig is. And you can go to a safe area with Illig once you have met them. And move on from there.
You do realize we could just sneak across the fucking bridge, right? If you start throwing fireballs, they might be able to pinpoint where the fuck we're going.
All right, you think that's a better plan then, and would you like to get it started?
Rest first. We're tired.
We're not safe right now. You want to sit here for 8 to 10 hours? In the king's, we're literally still next door to the king's place.
And
we
fucking what? Make a desperate run across the bridge while we're half-assed? I'd rather be at full power running across the bridge than not.
Or at least take an hour. Maybe. Not a long rest, but something shorter, something succinct.
A short breath would be fine.
Something to cool our heads a little bit, maybe.
Now, if you need me, I'll be behind the house.
Okay. So, Vice, you stand up. Exit. And Lowry, you've just been quiet throughout all of this. Okay. All right, so Vice, you get up, walk out, and then are you going behind the house, walking around towards the mushroom field, or around the open area?
The mushroom field, even though I hate the idea since there's more cover.
Okay. So as you walk around the house in the direction of the mushroom field, your heart suddenly feels cold, filling you with a sense of loneliness that borders on despair. A haunting, melancholy tune played on a flute reaches out to you from somewhere within a field of oversized toadstools.
Here's my secret cap. That's already how I feel.
So you feel connected to this music.
Any saves?
No. It's just sad.
You know what? Horror movie trope. He's gonna just look out into the mushroom field and see if he can spot what's going on.
I want to say that the song that's being played on, like, sadly on the flute is Eurydice's song from Hades. Like, just the saddest. And, like, it's played perfectly, mind you. Like, there's no faltering. Like, it seems like the person who's playing this, if it is a person, wah, has an expert control over this woodwind instrument.
You'll listen to the melody for a few seconds and gingerly walk into the mushroom field.
Okay. And as you approach and follow the music to its source, you see a slender elf with pale blue skin and black hair sits curled in the shadow of a gray 6-foot-tall toadstool, playing this somber tune on a double flute.
That's a very beautiful song.
And there is, like, the flutist looks at you and continues to play until the song reaches its natural end. And then, as it is a double flute, they take both ends out and just, oh, thank you. It's, have you ever had a song? Are you any wordsmith, songstress?
I'm musically inclined, yes.
Have you ever felt something so powerful deep inside you that you simply had to let it play? That the only way that you could really feel it was to get it out?
I remember a time when I was like that, yes.
Octavian. And he puts his hand out.
Vice. Pleasure.
What brings you to this place? What brings you to Downfall, friend?
Well, I'm on a job, but for the time being, I assume my party and I are trying to depose the king.
And Octavian can't help but laugh at that and says, do you know how often I hear of the deposition of kings since I've come to this place? It's why it's called Downfall. You know, it's not the rain, it's not the water, it is the place where kings meet their end.
Aptly named, then. Honestly, the whole disposition thing is just a means to an end. Get us out of here. May I sit down?
Take your seat, friend.
You'll sit a little bit away from Octavian.
He
There's
he nods. And you can feel, like, that sense of despair and sadness seems to be emanating from him. Make a
Is he a winter Eladrin?
nature check.
14.
A 14. He is not an Eladrin.
Ooh.
He looks like a wood elf.
Might I ask you something a little personal?
That depends on if I would be able to ask you the same.
Reciprocity dictates I answer then.
And hospitality dictates that I am all yours.
Yeah. Have you ever felt lost in the world?
For quite some time. Yes.
Have you found a way to cope with it, aside from music?
To be honest, no. At one point, I had heard through tales and travels that grandmother, hag, what have you, Bavlorna, if we're on familiar terms, had a way to remove certain things, to take them, as it were. There was a time where I felt alive. Not just with the sound of music, mind you, but I would see a beautiful face that would inspire me. I would find beauty in so much. And ever since I dealt with Bavlorna, things just haven't been the same. It's like I had asked her. I pleaded with her. I begged her to help me with the pain of the loss that I once felt. And in a way, she kept her end of the bargain. But now, I must admit, that song that you once heard, or the song that you heard, came from a different time. I did not write that now, and I have not written it since coming here. But when I know that I should feel sadness, I play the song that I remember playing when I was sad.
Well, the nice thing about things that are lost is one day they can be found. It might take a while, but eventually.
I like to think so. I like to hope so, anyways, but hope has not much place here in Downfall.
I've asked my question.
My question for you. You are a fan of music, is what you said. You are musically inclined. And you came here with your party. Do you all play music together?
Once, myself and a friend who fell too recently.
And Octavian puts a hand over their chest. My apologies.
Well, like I said again, things that are lost can be found. And hopefully, doing what we need to do, we can get a fix for him.
As much as you may wish to seek out an easy answer, do not make the same mistake that I did and go to the lady that dwells in the lake.
Oh, I'm all too familiar with pacts and the like. If this is not the way, this isn't the way. We'll find another.
I have one last question for you. If you'll entertain me, that is. I don't get many visitors out here who don't speak in croaks.
If you can answer one of mine, then.
Of course. If there was a way for you to free yourself from your pact, would you take it?
And what would be the price I pay for that?
Is that the question you ask me, or is that your answer?
A little both.
To free oneself from pact, I think depends on how that freedom is gained. If you seek it out yourself, you might find yourself sitting in a field of toadstools, surrounded by frogs in an area known for death. What if someone else were to help? Help you earn your freedom? I think that ultimately, even if you fail, having people that you can say that you loved along the way, that would be worth it in the end, because as somebody who quite literally feels nothing for any of the people I've been with, whether physically, emotionally, or traveled with, where I am does not suit anyone.
One last question. Why do you stay?
Where else would I go?
I've got an idea. When all of this is done, you could always travel with us. The inn could use a bard of your caliber at the very least.
I have not played before any but toadstools for some time. But should my agreement, let's call it, with Bavlorna be lifted, I think I would owe you at least 1 or 2 songs.
And a drink.
And a drink.
Yeah. Vice falls silent. He'll just stay there for a few minutes before getting back up and leaving with a wave of his hand.
And Octavian, if you are both sitting there in silence, Octavian will simply pull out his double pipes again. His double flute. And he just... You can tell, like, from a musical standpoint, that he's playing, but in a sense where it's like jazz playing, where it's not like he's following a specific song. He's just sort of letting it come out. But as you're listening to him, it's like that need, that desire that many musicians have to, like, feel the emotional connection and to lose yourself in the music. There is something that seems to be blocking Octavian from truly allowing himself to feel anything to the music that he is playing. And as a musician, that is one of the saddest things that you can hear.
It's like a sneeze that stops right at the nasal.
Exactly. Meanwhile, back inside the building, Vice has left in a mood, one might say. Lowry, you are here. You see Clout, who is made of stone. Pamferdam, you and Vice just had a heated altercation about tactics with regards to Viva la Revolucion. Lowry, how are you doing? How is Lowry feeling at this?
Oh, she's miffed. She's having an argument with her mushrooms as she tries to read her book that she's pulled out. They have big opinions on what Pamferdam and Vice were bringing up, and there's a lot of... They seem to be for the chaos that a revolution would cause. Lowry can be heard muttering that she won't be a part of that again.
Okay.
That she won't support that.
But you're mostly focused on speaking with your mushrooms at this point.
With a passive perception of 15, would I have heard Lowry mumble that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Unless,
Pamferdam.
Lowry, you were trying to be, like, as stealthy as possible.
No, it's more of like when it's the equivalent of like a fly buzzing around her head. Like it's something she doesn't even think about doing.
Okay.
You know, I wasn't part. I technically took part of the revolution for the first time when I was 6.
And how'd that go?
Well, my parents died, the empire fell, the Moharani rebellion was overall successful, but it created a lot of orphans.
They usually do.
Unfortunately, whether or not you choose to take part in a revolution or stand by idly, they're going to happen. It's an inevitability when empires get too large and corrupt.
And that's all well and good for the people who are part of those empires, but we are not a part of this empire. We don't have the right to make the choices for the people that live here.
We're not making a choice. We're taking advantage of something that is already going to happen. You know this revolution is going to strike. We might as well try and make it more effective.
It might not. I still don't believe that pushing it forward is right.
We're not pushing anything. It's going to happen. If you sit here right now and do nothing, the revolution still comes. We don't have to go out there.
But does it come tomorrow when we need it to? Or does our meddling push it forward faster?
Well, I think it's happening very soon. Like as soon as that one bullywug meets the other bullywug, I think that's when the torches are lit. So within hours, maybe a day.
Well, that remains to be seen.
Either way, we have a couple more. We have a child now that we need to make sure is safe and secure. Hey, Clapperclaw, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Do you breathe?
Hmm?
Do you breathe?
I used to. Not
well,
for a while.
Okay, so you don't breathe right now.
It's
Are
more
you
of a
afraid of the
hobby.
dark?
Yes. The dark
Okay.
is scary.
It is. It is very scary. What if I provided you with like a nightlight in a dark place that would keep you safe while we travel?
What's a nightlight?
It could be either like through magic or technology. It's some sort of light that you can keep lit near you while you're asleep if you're afraid of the dark.
Wow. I haven't needed to sleep in a while, but that sounds nice.
Okay, so I have an idea I can do. I can make a backpack that you can hide in while we travel.
Wow.
There is no air. There will be no air in it, so breathing won't happen. But I'll make sure a light goes in there with you.
Will there be, like, toys and things for me to play with in there?
I could make you so many toys.
Oh,
It'll take
wow.
me time. I'll fill up the backpack with toys for you.
I love toys.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So if you're okay with that, if you have consent for me, I'm gonna make a backpack for you. Okay.
Okay.
Also, Gregor Grimborn, thank you for the follow.
Well, thank you.
All right. And then Pamferdam now is just going to sit down with some tools and work on an artificer thing while Lowry has time for themselves now.
Mm-hmm. All right. So Lowry, while Pamferdam is busy making this hat, making this backpack, you are speaking to your hat. Vice has stepped out of the building, and he is in the process of speaking with Octavian. We have one other person that we have not addressed this evening. Clout. Clout, the last thing that you remember is being pulled by this tree into its bitey bits. Pamferdam reaching up, helping to stabilize you. Well, actually, no, because Pamferdam would have stabilized you at 0, and it said in the raw that you were unconscious. So you just remember getting pulled into the mouth. And then there were fading moments, it felt like, very disjointed, almost like when you get to, like, what is it called? The brownout level of drunk, where, like, memories are still, like, partially being formed, but it's not all the way there, and you know it's not all the way there. And the last thing that you remember seeing are shoes. And you remember just feeling absolute shit. And the shoes that you see are Lowry's, like directly in front of you. And then your vision faded as you heard what sounded like rocks being set on top of each other. And then things went dark for a little bit. And then you hear what sounds like cart wheels on cobblestone. And you can feel warm air against your chest. And you are standing in front of a building that has a very deja vu-like feel to it. Because this building, with this warm air that seems to be coming from it, has what looks like, rather than a doorway with a standard, like, knob opening door, there are almost like towels or some sort of tapestry that meets at about the waist-high level that then leads into this building. And again, we say deja vu on this very ancient-looking house that you recognize, at least on the streets of Waterdeep, because you feel like you've been here before, but you can't for the life of you place when. But you do remember that the last time that you were here was on one of the worst nights that you had during your last stay in Waterdeep. You remember being hungry. You remember having the shit beat out of you, although this time you're pretty sure you kind of asked for it last time. This time you didn't really ask for it, but maybe if you think about it a little bit harder, maybe you did. But you can just feel this deep grumble in your stomach as you look at this doorway that, again, warm lights, warm air, and the smell of this savory soup seems to come through the doorway. And looking at that half tapestry that's there acting as a door, you can see the imagery of noodles.
I could go for some noodles.
Okay.
He just sort of like takes a deep breath, gets a lung full of that smell, and he'll step forward and sort of poke his head through the cloth.
Yeah, you can see that there are plenty of individuals that are in this noodle house. But it seems like the only available seat is next to a slender-faced woman with pale skin on her left side. And she has a large hat that has a very conical point to its tip. And she just seems to be there, 2 sticks, chopsticks basically, to bring up her noodles. And we, as the viewer, know this to be a ramen house. And you walk in, sit next to her. And you can see that she is eating what looks like like it is a very thick broth. It seems like they left like large chunks of meat actually in this noodle broth to help create almost like a thin layer of fat still left in the soup itself. There's a mixture of vegetables in there, bean sprouts, mushrooms, all of that good stuff. And on hers, there's a whole ass egg in there, but the egg has been cut in half. And it is just like sitting there absorbing into the broth as well.
Fantastic. Clout will get the attention of the chef and sort of point at her bowl and say, hey, one of these, please.
And the chef doesn't seem to acknowledge you as you are trying to talk to him, but the woman just brings up her chopsticks, clacks them a few times, and the chef like looks at her with much more respect than you were thinking. And she says something in a language that you don't understand, and then she points at your table, at the seat where you are sitting. And after a while, she, as your bowl is brought out in front, she said, she says, the trick to a place like this isn't to demand attention, but to get to know the people that you're working with.
It's kind of hard when you're new.
It's very hard when you're new. But this isn't your first time here, is it, Clout? And as she says this, you can see that there is a smile on her face as she brings up noodles to her mouth.
He just sort of scratches the back of his head and stares down into his noodle bowl. I get the idea that I screwed something up.
Well, with that, you would be right, but we can talk about it after dinner. Please, enjoy. Magic can create a lot of things. It can heal many a wound. But the one thing that magic cannot do perfectly is recreate this broth. Believe me, I have tried and tried and tried. There's something about a good meal that you cannot recreate.
Well, thanks. Like, pops his sticks in half and then goes to town.
And she continues to just eat next to you. And she says, you are incredibly curious.
Am I?
Yes. And she laughs at that and says, I said your name and you just assumed that we've met before.
Well, be kind of rude to acknowledge the fact that I'm sorry, I don't remember who you are.
Then it's working. When we first spoke, one of the things that you told me was that you didn't want to remember anyone from, as you put it, your past life. Save a few exceptions, of course. So we struck a deal. That you would help me, and in return for helping me, I would help you.
Have I been doing that?
In a sense. Time's a funny thing, she says with a wry smile, and you can see that as she says this, the noodle hut has cleared out, and it is just the two of you. But it seems like the size of this building has shrunk, so that rather than it being a large sprawling building with multiple people sitting at different tables, that it is just this front counter. There are no multiple chefs. There's just the one. And she's speaking with you.
I must have done something pretty terrible if I didn't want to remember it.
If I recall, it wasn't necessarily a remember something terrible. It was remember someone horrible.
Was it me?
You didn't want to remember yourself. No. Yes, you remember yourself.
Well, my sister hates me for some reason, so I don't know, I'm kind of trying to connect the dots here.
One of your friends from growing up, in your words, put you on the wrong. And you were, albeit, a little inebriated. But there was quite a bit of blame shifted to a boy named Ulysses. So, you asked me to help you forget. And that you didn't want the life that you had anymore. You wanted something new, something fresh, something that you could really, well, work your skills in.
Well, a fat lot of good that did me. If I'm back here.
If you're back here, that means that you're still on your way. It's part of our agreement.
So, what next?
Well, and she takes her chopsticks and puts them into your bowl, and she swirls the broth around, and as she does and you look down, you can see your own body made entirely of stone, albeit missing some clothes and a few other things.
Oh, I really screwed up.
And she puts, wraps her chopsticks underneath one of your half eggs and just lifts it up and puts it into her bowl. And says, I wouldn't exactly call this successful, but you did protect some people that you were close to. But your job for me isn't finished.
But what is that job?
Remember how I said time is funny? Technically, all of this is happening both right now and far, far, far in the future.
Okay. I don't know if this is making my head hurt or if it's the brain damage.
Could be the brain damage. It also could be that maybe you should have paid a little bit more attention in school, or when your sister would tell you about things that she was learning in books. What I'm trying to say is, if you want to help me, there is a place in the Feywild that I need you to go. It's called the Palace of Heart's Desire. It's at the center of a place called Prismere.
I think I'm already in Prismere.
Good. Like I said, you're not done helping me yet.
All right. I'm sorry. I feel like this kind of thing is sort of like learning about, like, you know, reciprocity and everything.
My 3
I'm not-
rules.
Your 3 rules. Okay. All right.
She nods.
Clout's starting to realize he's in deeper than he thought he was.
In the future, there will be 3 young upstarts that think that they can come in, barge their way into my plane, and try and make it their own. What I need you to do is find me. In finding me, you will remind them who is the boss. You don't have to kill them. You don't even have to uphold the ends of bargains that you make with them. To a degree, they are my relatives, but they are not the rulers of this place as they think they are.
Right.
And she turns and she has her hand on the right side of her face, and she just sort of like turns to look at you, and she has the most beautiful purple colored eyes. Like this is like an amethyst that just seems to rest. And she smiles towards you.
Listen, I'm gonna do the best that I can, but this sounds like it's pretty important, and the only reason I'm in here is because I screwed up big time.
And she then turns away from you again, chopsticks into her noodles, takes a long slurp, sets chopsticks back down, and says, the first step at succeeding in anything is failure. Like any magic spell, like any ritual, you're not going to get it right the first time. The reason that you're here again is because I need it to be you. You are one of the few figures who the sisters will not suspect. However, in order to fix this issue, and she kind of like stirs her own broth again and showing your stony body, I would ask one thing. You seem like a man who is taken by ink, correct? She turns to look at you, hand on the side of her face again.
He kind of looks down at his arms and he's all like, talking about the tattoos, or...
She nods.
Yeah, I guess I must be. I don't really remember getting these.
You said that they would help you in times of need, and it seems, from what I've seen, that they have continued to help you on your journey.
Okay.
So I offer you a trade. One of mine for yours. And I'll fix whatever this is, so you can get right back to helping me. How's that?
Kind of get the idea. I don't have much choice in the matter.
Do you want to stay made of stone while your friends take your clothes and your gear and probably leave you in a lake somewhere?
He kind of looks down into his soup. And thinks if he does that, he's never going to get a chance to try and make up with Cordial. So he sort of shrugs and says, what the hell's? Let's do it.
And you see her head sort of tilt down and says, good. And you see that she raises her bowl up to her face and just takes a long, long, long drink of this broth. And as she sets it back down, you are no longer inside of a building, and she is no longer sitting next to you. Instead, you are at what looks to be a small cart with several large soup containers in front of you, a stack of bowls next to them. This cart still having this same half tapestry that you can kind of feel against your back. And this woman that was speaking with you now stands directly in front of you on the other side of the cart. And she leans in and says, "Remember, find me, and you can have all the soup that you want. Although, like I said, I've been trying for years, and I still can't make it anywhere near as good as he does." And as she says this, she leans forward into the light. You can finally get a good look at the right side of her face, where beneath her eye on her upper cheek, she has what looks like the tattoo of a chicken foot placed directly on that lower eye ridge. And she reaches out with her left hand. Yes, left hand. And she places her thumb on that same spot on your face. And she looks at you with a level of kindness that you only ever assumed a mother could share with a child. In that she looks at you with just this softness. And you can feel all of your tattoos beginning to have this burning feeling. And your vision whites out from the pain of this burn as you hear, "Find me," in the Palace of Heart's Desire. And as she says that word continuing to wisp through you, Lowry, you are speaking to your hats, or speaking to the mushrooms on your hat, and you start hearing what sounds like a sizzling sound that seems to be coming from the stone body of Clout. And you can see that there is a little smoke rising from where Clout's face is. And Morgort, like, head turn, looks at body. Pam, with your high enough passive perception, you can hear this as well.
Lowry's gonna go over and just flick his face.
So as you flick, your finger makes contact with stone, but you can see that there is almost like a sizzling burn that seems to be coming from the right cheek of Clout. And as that continues to burn, almost like it is being power washed into the stone, you see a vertical line straight down begin to appear, with two other smaller lines extending upward. Now, Lowry, you are familiar with this symbol. You nerded out to your party members about this symbol when you were deep in the house.
Yep.
And as you see this symbol burn onto Clout's face, it seems that kind of like acidic burn seems to begin spreading out, but that marking is deep set into Clout's face, as the stone that he is encased in just begins to acid wash away. Pam, you are you see Lowry flick, and then after about a minute, that stone just begins to kind of start eating itself away, revealing Clout underneath.
Would my experience with a spell similar to that, would that let me know like what is happening to the body at all?
Make an Arcana check.
Okay.
Arcana. That is 13.
13. Okay. You get the sense, like, you're used to seeing spells like Revivify, and having survived a revolution, as you described earlier, there are other healing magics that you have seen to bring the recently deceased back from the brink. As far as turning, like, flesh to stone and then stone to flesh again, this isn't something that you're used to seeing. This seems like some Feywild bullshit. But from what you are able to tell, Clout has a heartbeat.
Is the caustic melting similar to a spell I know of known as Tasha's caustic brew? Like, does the acid effect seem similar?
It does seem similar.
Okay.
And Clout, as you can once again feel with your own hands this kind of like damp wood, you get a cold breeze of swamp that kind of goes over your now bare back, I'm assuming, because again, we grifted the party member. That white hot pain steadily leaves as you find yourself on the floor of this otherwise abandoned house, except for Pam, Lowry, Morgort, and kind of pressing themselves up against your face, Whisper, who seems very happy that you are back to the way that things were. And as Clout, you find yourself on this floor, that is where we are going to go to our break for the evening. We're going to try and be back in 5 to 10 minutes. Don't go no place unless it's to grab a food, grab a drink, grab a friend, or possibly go to indooradventure.redbubble.com. Pick yourself up something nice. And we'll see you guys shortly. All right, everybody. See you soon. There it goes. Hello, everybody, and welcome. I pressed the button. It worked right the first time. Nobody saw it screw up other than that, so clearly we're professionals here. But speaking of professionalism, we just got back from our break. Clout, you looked like you were burning away in acid, at least that rough and tumble exterior that you had that was made of rocks. And Lowry and Pamferdam are just watching you, like, come back to life. Lowry noticing immediately that you have this, like, engraved chicken foot symbol on the lower, or right underneath your eye on the right side of your face. And Pamferdam noticing that your rocky exterior seemed to have melted away almost from a caustic brew. And Morgort is just like, what the fuck is happening? Feywild bullshit. I live here, and this still doesn't make sense.
Clout's just like,
Clout, you have 1 hit point.
hi, Lowry.
How do you know her? Did she just meet a god?
What?
No, I don't think it was anything that drastic.
Like, starts looking at his arms. He's like, oh, okay, she only took the magic ones. That makes sense.
Who took what? You're alive, by the way. How are you feeling?
Okay, so I did die.
I mean, you were turned to stone. I'm not entirely sure if that counts as dead, but yeah, you were out for a minute.
I'm fairly certain he was dead.
You croaked,
Okay.
yes.
Not like a frog, like the dead kind of. If you could try not to
See.
turn into stone next time, I can't really work with that.
Sorry, I'll do my best.
Thanks. How do you know her?
I don't know.
Are you friends or enemies?
I think we're friends. I think. Yeah, I think.
Morgort, like, as Clout, you are getting up, she looks at you, and you can see that there's, like, a look of, like, on her face as she is, like, looking at you.
Pretty sure this is the worst ass kicking I've ever had. Pretty sure.
I'd assume so, since you didn't die in any of your other butt kickings.
That we know
We'll just
of.
make sure.
Yeah, as far as I know.
We'll just make sure to keep you away from trees from now on.
Right. Here's your stuff, by the way. We took it off so you were easier to carry.
And
I, like,
Clapperclaw like holds up some of your clothes on his big old lobby claw hands.
He like starts to sit up and just sort of like winces, and then he like lies back down. He's all like, "Can I just lay here for a bit?"
You've got an hour.
Cool. Just closes his eyes.
And Vice, this is around the time that you would be making your time back.
Just hands in pocket, opens the door. It's me. Looks down at Clout. What was stripped from him?
Armor, backpack.
Okay. You motherfucker.
Gonna crack open one eye and look at him.
And Vice, you notice that Clout now has like this deep-seated, like, it looks like it could be a tattoo, but it also looks like somebody like gouged like a knife wound into his face. A little bit too artistic to be a knife wound, but deep enough that it could be.
Get up.
He needs rest.
I'm not gonna slug a man on the floor.
Well, you can wait.
They literally just came back from the dead. I'm pretty sure a slug will put them back in the grave.
Whisper pops in front of you super defensively. Like,
That's right, the Whisper, get him!
like glows menacingly at you. And then
Clout, do you
pops
wanna move
back
to a-
over.
Clout, do you want to move to a cushion?
No, this is fine.
Lowry will just bring a cushion over and put it under his head.
There's a canteen that's slid across the floor towards Clout's hand. And Vice just like walks to the other side of the room and sits down.
Clout's gonna reach for the canteen and then just like hold it on his chest. And then there's like a snore.
There's a hood that goes up over Vice's head, and he just like looks down, and there's a sigh.
Lowry will pull her book back out.
Pamferdam will go back to making toys.
Clapperclaw is excited about the toys that you're making.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna spend all my infusions on Clapperclaw.
Oh my god, Clapperclaw is your son now.
Clapperclaw deserves all of the magic items. Give him everything.
He's the
Sweet
only
baby
creature,
boy.
the only creature in the world that can appreciate your toys.
Should I send you the stats for a blink stick?
Oh, please do send the blink stick.
All right, I'll send the blink stick.
Well, Knights in the Courtyard, the story about the blink stick.
Okay. Lowry, you are journaling at this point? Is that what you said that you were doing?
No, she's reading a novel.
Oh, okay. Morgort will approach you, Lowry. And she sort of like squats down, frog squat. And she like hand on her chin inquisitively.
Can I help you?
She says, sorry, indigestion. You asked your friend how he knew her. Yes?
Yes.
You all are not from around here. Yes?
Here specifically, no.
Just establishing.
Mhm.
There are many here who know that, Mark.
Why is that?
That is the mark of Zabillna.
How long has she used that name?
What do you mean?
Nothing. Go on. Who is she?
She's the true Queen of Prismere.
Huh.
That symbol I have not seen in a long, long time.
Did Clout tell us about being told to find the Sleeping Queen?
Not yet.
Not
No?
yet.
Okay. All right. Do you know where she is? She's obviously not the ruler currently.
No. If I had to guess, I would assume that locked away somewhere, under a curse or a spell. She was not one to simply let others take things from her. Rules of hospitality and ownership. But then the Hourglass Coven came. And things have been... She motions to the kind of decrepit-looking room that you're all in. A little less lively as a result.
Right. If you were to say lock Simone away in Prismere, is there a area that would be more advantageous to accomplishing that?
If someone were to be locked away
Yes,
and
like
made
magically.
magically, time works different in the Feywild. If they were locked magically in a form of... this is what I assume is science-y words. The sages speak of it in a sort of time box that perhaps the palace, otherwise Yon. I've heard Yon is a series of mountainous crags. If you were looking to hide something, then in storm-riddled mountains might be the best bet. Do you think that she's here? Do you think that she is still available to speak with?
I don't know. But I think she spoke to someone. And she looks at Clout. Marks like that don't just get passed around for nothing.
I see. Normally, from our understanding, one must be in service of the Queen of Prismere to receive such a mark.
That tracks.
And she nods and says, "You said that is why you were here, correct?" Stop, well, put an end to the hag's rule. Free the queen?
Optimally.
Well, sort of. There was this couple at the carnival that we were at, and they got split up, and the hags took them, and I want to find them.
Do you know the hags tend to utilize minions? They cannot directly interfere with the affairs of the material plane, from what the sages have said. Sorry, it's
Would you like something for that?
Do you
Herbs?
have anything?
Oh, well, I don't know your physiology. What works best for indigestion for you?
Otherwise, you should never feel like you need to apologize for your chronic illness.
That as well.
She considers this and nods.
Lowry would give a human mint. I don't know if I can give a frog mint.
This is
Out
a
of character.
bullywug, and it's fantasy
bullywug.
world. I'm gonna say you can give her some mint as a treat.
Okay. As a treat.
A salami.
If that's toxic for frogs, please let us know in the comments on YouTube.
If it's toxic for frogs, I'll let you know. It's not toxic for bullywugs.
She will. One moment. She'll go outside and druid craft from the ground some mint, pick it and bring the leaves back in.
As long as it doesn't have pesticides or fertilizers, mint is okay for frogs.
This is some homegrown shit that Lowry's given us. But yeah.
Munch on this. All at once. Okay.
She's a big mouth.
If you need more, let me know.
She nods, and then as she begins talking, you see that her eyes begin to water a little bit, and just... Why is it so crisp?
Nights
Why
in
is
the
it
courtyard.
spicy?
Water flask.
Oh, spearmint.
She says, now that it is helped, now that it's gone by a little bit, she says, did you see the hags, the grandmothers, the coven? They are not allowed to operate in the material as others do. So they make use of familiars, their children's creations of theirs. Did you see which, if it was one of the hags, if you followed them, did you see what it looked like?
Vice raises a hand.
Big mask.
Pig mask.
And she nods and says, then you seek thither with Zabillna. And when she says Zabillna, Clapperclaw, you just hear start rattling again.
It's not Granny Nightshade.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. She's not here. She's not
I
here. They're
don't
just
like
talking. It's okay,
her.
buddy. Just don't know. Hey, you don't have to worry about that. Hey, check out this toy I made for you.
Oh, wow.
Pamferdam will hand a new nightlight to Clapperclaw.
Yeah, I thought it'd be kind of cute to make you a glowworm. So here you go.
And it's like, it looks like a fucking graboid from Tremors.
Yeah.
Oh no!
And like you squeeze it, and like there's like an on-off something inside the softness of its belly, in which it suddenly starts to like glow a radioactive green.
Clapperclaw cannot feel the soft part, but just squishes the whole thing.
When Clapperclaw
Oh,
squishes,
wow.
do like tentacles come out the mouth too?
I haven't seen one of these since the warm place.
Ooh.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go.
And they like turn everybody like,
Ah.
Lady Morgoth,
Ah. Yes.
what can you tell us about Blightclaw?
Not much, I am afraid. In all honesty, most of what I have learned from the sages. And even they do not go beyond hither. We simply know of the lands to come. Thither is heavily wooded. Large trees, almost maze-like, labyrinthine. Yawn, mountainous crags. Heavy storms. There is, from what we saw earlier, merchants from Yawn here. Trinket, bauble, and charms.
Spot of information gathering then, when we get the chance. All right. Oh, by the by, I met someone out by the mushrooms. They too were affected by Blightclaw.
Who?
Wood elf by the name of Octavian.
And when you say Octavian Morgort, just like eyes closed, head nod, just sad story.
I apologize, Miss Moon, but I offered them a spot in your tavern as a bard.
Oh, it's not my tavern. The feet come with me later, but that you're gonna have to take up with the tavern's owner.
So,
Not me.
All right.
All right. And at that, Morgort says, once your friend is rested, it seems that their companion, small glowing thing, does it have a name?
Whisper.
Whisper. Seems Whisper knows where Illig is. Would you be willing to meet with them? I would hope so. Otherwise, that it will be where our ways part.
If we want to deal with Blightclaw, we shouldn't do it alone. So Illig is our best shot after we depose the current king. Unless anyone else has any ideas.
We could just bypass her altogether.
I have a personal interest in either making contact with or retrieving some stolen goods from Blightclaw.
Look, our best bet is if this true queen isn't here, is to go after her. Even the people here can't stand up to Blightclaw if they band together. Her magic is going to take more of them out than is worth it.
Speaking of magic, Lowry, you seem to know a bit about like hag trickery and all that. Do you know if they have the ability to keep an eye on? Like, can they see us if they do any magic or like track us in any way?
I mean, scrying's easy enough, I would assume, for someone of Blightclaw's standing.
And
They could probably do it if they knew that what we looked like or who we were or had something of ours.
And depending on the aptitude of said hag or magic caster or familiar, they can see through their eyes.
Okay. If that's the case, it might be wise for us to make sure that no word passes to the hags of our activity. Maybe, Morgort, if you could do us a favor and like forget we existed, so that Blightclaw doesn't know that we were here. Because if they easily have the capability of tracking us, then if we end up bypassing them and trying to go to the real queen, they might just all three converge to stop us or something. Just a thought.
If we make enough of a splash here, we won't
Right.
need to go use scrying for us. Which is another reason why we should stay out of any political dealings here.
Right. If they have the capability of tracking us, then yeah, we can't make ourselves known.
Is it Blightclaw specifically who took something from you?
Yeah. They have my real hands.
And Morgort just like gives you the most sus look that a bullywug can.
Yeah, so long story short, Morgard, I didn't follow the rules the first time I found myself in the Feywild, and Blightclaw took away my ability to make nice things.
What rules did you break?
I snuck into the carnival the first time I saw it.
Mm.
I didn't know I had to spend the next 8 years traveling around the world trying to find out as much as I could about it. Ever since they took my hands, I haven't been able to do my normal job, which was to try and take care of kids. Now, well, the only thing I can make are things that are very dangerous and threatening, so I end up working for the Empire, making war machines instead of toys. So I'm just saying, given the option of making orphans cry less and making more orphans based on the skills that I have, I kind of want to meet Blightclaw at some point.
Our best bet is to get someone far stronger than her to help us.
All right. Morgard, do you think that, like, how nigh is your revolution? Like, within the next few hours or something? Like, tonight, tomorrow kind of thing? Or
I have been imprisoned for quite some time.
Right, I apologize. I'm kind of making assumptions. If the revolution begins, that's enough noise for us to try and sneak out of here without detection.
You are more than welcome to leave if you should so choose. I know how to travel through the fogs.
Really, there?
I know how to go back to Granny Nightshades. I don't want to go there.
And Clapperclaw hugs the nightlight that you've given them.
Pamferdam rests their tiny little hands on Clapperclaw's giant ass claws. And
You don't have to worry anything about it. I'm gonna make you a backpack, and this person is never going to see you, okay? They'll never know you're there. You'll never see them, and we're gonna fix you without you ever having to go back to the bad place.
You're going to find my beautiful head?
We're gonna do our best.
Oh, wow.
Pamferdam, Lowry, a minute. In like a very hushed whisper, like, so just to level with you, the events that Clapperclaw had spoken about his home happened roughly several hundred years ago.
Does it
Camera
different
pans
here?
over to Clapperclaw. It's just ha, 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 like squeezing this little tremor.
Okay, so the body's definitely long gone.
A true resurrection could maybe work,
Depending.
pending.
So temper your expectations.
Right.
At the very least, his soul can be properly freed from whatever that is.
And if they wish to
Nightmare.
remain physically attached to this world, I can make them a nicer body. Well, okay, I would prefer to make them a nicer body after I deal with my own problems, but
We can at least keep them safe in the inn until.
Pamferdam, do you have blueprint paper?
yeah, yeah. Why?
I might not look it, but I was something of a tinkerer back in my day.
Oh yeah, what kind of stuff did you do?
Automatons
Oh hey, me too.
and firearms. Anyway,
Oh hey, me too.
if we're letting Clout rest, Vice is just going to begin to sketch out what he remembers of the automatons from Waterdeep.
Okay, yeah.
Right. Get rid of a paper.
Make a history check.
I'm okay at these.
Where's my paper?
18.
An 18, okay.
Parchment.
Yeah, so with an 18, it's gonna take you a while, but you remember that they had a very like musketeer vibe to them. Like they had like long
Nibblerites,
metal
that's what they're called.
beards. Like the wonderful mustaches.
Pointy hat.
Yeah.
You motherfucker.
What?
I know exactly what you're making.
Yeah, Nimblerite.
Yeah.
Ah, that's what he said. He wanted to make one of the
Oh.
automatons. I hope you
Yes,
know.
One of them, they're automatons.
You know how sometimes like the camera just zooms in on your face and then like the sound of the tinnitus gets louder and louder?
Okay, so in order to take a short rest, you need to stay for at least an hour. So during that time, roll up any hit die that you need to. Regain all of the things that you would normally expend on a short rest.
Short rest. I don't think I get anything back.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm at a spell slot still.
I'm gonna
Lowry needs a long rest.
I'm gonna attune to my new tattoo.
You
Yeah.
already were. It's fine.
Yay!
Alrighty. So, with that, after that hour, Clout, you got some good sleep in, and the entire time that you were asleep, the vision that you had, this out-of-body experience that gave you this tattoo, becomes like when you wake up and then if you don't write your dream down immediately, that you just seem to kind of like forget it even more as time goes on, until the only thing that you can remember on waking up is the phrase "find me" and the pain of getting this like burnt etching under your eye.
All right. I want to say that Clout mumbles in his sleep too.
Ooh, what's he say?
Noodles. Yeah, noodles. Cordial, do your homework. Who the fuck is Ulysses?
There's a like scratch off the paper as Vice just looks down.
You okay?
What was that?
I don't know. Cloud's mumbling stuff in their sleep.
Something about Ulysses
Abyssal chicken.
and a chicken.
Begins to continue to write.
Okay. And then after that hour, Clout. Fuck, your body's sore.
Do you have any hit dice to expend?
Huh?
Do you have any hit dice to expend?
I did, and I did.
Okay.
And now I have 10 hit points.
Yay.
I think that like I think the pain wakes up Clout more than anything. And he just sort of like groans to himself. And then he just like without even opening his eyes, he just like sticks a thumb in the middle of his forehead and says pineapple and casts healing word.
Looks like the baby's up.
And Whisper,
Yeah,
like
Clapper
Clout,
Claw's
if
been
you were
awake
like
for a minute.
sleeping on your side, Whisper was like doing what like a cat does, and either like sleeping in like the crook of your legs or like right at the curvature of your stomach.
Right. He definitely slept on his back because I'm thinking there's like some broken rib action going on here.
Oh, then Whisper was definitely like between your knees.
Yep.
And like one
Can
of your legs
I-
always like hooks to create like a little cradle for him.
Yep.
Lowry has an herbalism kit.
Okay.
Between that and Druidcraft, could I spend the hour making like the equivalent of like what an icy hot salve would be?
I would say yeah. You can definitely make some D&D Bengay for the boy.
Nice.
But is
You
it
just gotta-
like the patches or the cream?
It would have to
It would
be
be
the
a
cream.
cream.
I want
Yeah,
to be
'cause I
like
wouldn't-
mortar and pestle,
yeah.
mushing up goop.
Because you could also
Yeah.
craft vines down into bandages.
Apply directly to forehead.
I think the bandages are like a long rest thing. I think the
Okay.
salve is applicable. She'll just set a tin of salve at your feet.
Is Vapo Rub impressive in D&D?
Everything's impressive in D&D.
He will grab that canteen off of his chest, and then just tip it back until it's empty. And then like wince as he tries to sit up, and Whisper probably like floats over and like helps prop him up to
On his back.
a sitting position. And then he reaches over for that jar and gives Lowry a grateful look.
Rub that on anything that hurts.
I might need more of this.
I'll need another rest to make more.
All right. He gets to work. He puts it on the worst areas and starts to get dressed. There's a lot of dad grunts.
When Cloud's fully stood, Weiss just rolls up what he's working on, hands it to Pamferdam. Let's reconvene on this.
Yeah, I'll check it out when we get back to the tavern.
Walks up to Cloud and just flicks a horn with his good hand.
Ah.
Ah,
Oh, good.
Just like hand on his horn.
You fit for travel?
I can be.
Right. We're getting our asses out of here.
He just sort of like subconsciously, like without even thinking it, he just kind of rubs his face and then like,
Don't touch that.
what?
It's technically an open wound.
Damn.
Goes to touch it again and then
Don't
stops.
touch that.
What is it?
Tattoo? Carved into your skin?
More like a brand.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
hmm
Like
That's the word for it.
reaches into his bag and grabs like a mirror so that you can like look at it.
Does that mean you're like owned by the person?
Yucky.
It means
Apparently
that he
that's-
has received her gift.
And it might be noticeable here, so if you have any way to disguise it or hide it.
Okay. Whose gift? He says, digging through his bag for his disguise kit.
The true Queen of Prismere. Zabillna.
That's her name.
Do you
Margaret nods like, obviously.
remember when we were in the house?
Yeah.
And we were going after Sue.
Uh-huh.
And there were the two hallways and all the pictures. And I wanted to go down the one hallway, but we had to go get Sue, but we were looking at the pictures on the wall. Do you remember the younger woman in the pictures?
Yep.
Not great grandma that I pointed out, but the other one with the long hair.
Simon, did that bear a resemblance to the statue at Witchlight?
It
Yeah, that was-
did, but the statue was like mostly just like the clothes and then
Right,
like
okay, so-
mannequin-esque face.
Not a close enough resemblance
No.
to recognize. Okay.
He's more commonly known on the material plane as Tasha.
Yes.
Oh, that explains the acid. All right.
Huh.
Granny's adopted daughter.
Gotcha.
Margaret
She's-
is like looking around like, what are you people are, what are you talking about?
Did I
That's
did
just
I
a different pronunciation of a name, you know.
did I croak?
Yes.
Sorry, no offense.
He was stone dead.
She's the one who brought me back.
Apparently.
Yes.
All right. I have a question, like, because I have no working memory. During this conversation, did y'all mention that she's the sleeping queen?
While you were sleeping.
Yes.
Possibly.
Yeah, during
Yeah.
your short rest.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Lowry's trying not to connect those dots in front of the bullywog because
Gotcha.
she doesn't want to cause a crisis for.
Crisis of faith.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Like as the conversation continues, he's like pulling out like a little like purple cream that it's his foundation. And he's gonna like start like smearing it into that
Oh, that's
mark
still
on
an
his
open
face.
wound.
It
Fine.
doesn't
It's gonna
sting.
burn so much.
Yeah, it's like when you touch it, it is like as it was like it was formed when you were still stone. So
Right.
even though there is that depression, it's not necessarily an open wound. There's no like
Okay.
layers of skin that have been
Ah.
revealed. It is
Gotcha.
just like a crag in your face.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's just gonna spackle it.
I'm Jorge. I do the spackle.
He does that.
Does everybody feel ready to start moving?
Give me a minute.
Morgort will lean next to the door, super cool like.
Vice walks past her.
For the record, I'm not gonna be good for any fighting anytime soon.
Oh, none of
Hopefully
us
we
are.
don't have to do. Yeah, hopefully we don't have to do that.
All right.
Yeah.
He clicks his compact shut and tucks it away.
You look very nice.
Feel like a bag of shit.
Yeah, you look like you died.
Thanks, Pam.
I was trying to be nice.
I appreciate your honesty. And I appreciate your kindness. Vice, I appreciate
Vice is already
Your-
like walking out the door.
sense of timing.
All right, everybody. We have an objective now. Find a sleeping princess and save them so they can have their kingdom back.
Queen.
Queen. Yes. Sorry, metaphor.
Oh, did I tell you guys what Witch and Light told me before I left?
You're fired.
Oh, you did tell us that.
They did say that. But after all of you had stepped through the mirror, they gave me this cryptic shit. He like screws up his face as he's trying really hard to remember it correctly. Remember the rule of 3. Find the alicorn. And free the dormant queen at last.
All
Okay.
right. I understand 2 of that. What's an alicorn?
I have no idea.
Vice does.
Winks does too.
Okay. So we just have to make sure to follow the rules. Sounds like everybody's really on board with us finding finding the queen.
Probably everyone except for
The
You know,
coven, yeah.
yeah. So probably make sure they don't know about that.
All right. So step 1, help Morgort get to Illig, and then we decide what we need to do from there.
Oh shit! Did the revolution happen?
Not
No.
yet, no.
Oh, okay. I don't know how long I've been out.
Maybe an
Hey.
hour.
Yeah, not even.
Whisper, can you catch me up on everything?
Nods. Lets
Bring,
you
bring,
know.
Bring.
I came back. I found Illig. You were in a tree. You got thrown from the tree. The tree said something mean after a
I'm
knife
just-
got thrown into the tree.
I'm just gonna assume that I get Whisper's perspective on everything.
Yes.
Okay.
We came into the house. They said some things that didn't concern me at all because they weren't about me or you because you were stone. I was
Exactly.
very sad.
Oh, I'm sorry, Whisper.
But then you started to sizzle and you came back and I was happy
Sizzle.
about it.
All right.
And now we're here. I know where Illig is. I'm helping.
God, that felt like a Louise recap from Ant-Man.
Sorry. That's great. Do you think will-o'-the-wisps see the world in color?
No.
Is it black and white?
I think that
Surely, like everything's
I
kind
think
of
it's
sparkly,
not
Like
really-
ultraviolet or something.
It's not really
Yeah.
black and white, and it's not really ultraviolet. It's like, to make a more dated reference from a better time, remember in early World of Warcraft, before we knew that Blizzard was not very cool, and your character would die, and it was like the spooky blues and like the gray hues, like that's what
so
they
can
see.
like they see
They're
in
just
energy.
constantly doing a corpse run.
Yeah.
Aw.
But in pyrovision.
Oh. All right. Okay. All right.
So yeah, Whisper then says, "Don't worry, I can lead us to Illig," and then like
Alright.
zips out.
Great. So we seeing Illig next?
All
I
right,
hear
let's
so.
check this box off.
And
He's-
Clapperclaw's just like following behind Pam, just like,
Like holding the claw the whole time.
You're one of the few people. Your group has been really nice to me ever since I met you all. This has been very lovely.
Oh, well, Clapper, there's never a justified reason to be mean to a child.
Oh.
Clapper, are you giving me a nickname?
Oh, sure thing, buddy.
Oh, wow!
Pamferdam's gonna fucking die for this creature.
I can't wait to tell Mom and Dad all about it when we finally meet up again.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
all right, so
That
looking-
Lowry in game just tilts her hat.
Ugh.
Okay,
As Clout steps out of the hut, he's like looking at his arms and he's like, "Do I have less tattoos than before?" Wait a second. Does anybody read Draconic?
No.
Does Vice actually raise his hand?
Vice is not there. RJ raised his hand.
Oh,
Has
great.
is Vice just waiting outside, or have you been trucking this whole time? Because we're outside the building now.
Oh, he's gone to the mushrooms to talk to Octavian
Gotcha.
real quick.
All right. I guess since nobody reads Draconic, that's just an anecdotal question.
so yeah, you say this, and then we as the audience know that Vice can read Draconic. Pans over, Vice, you are walking through the mushroom fields, and you hear
Vice
once again
sneezes.
sad song playing from Octavian on his double flute. And then just, oh, you've decided to come back.
Yeah.
Lovely to see you, friend.
I just wanted to say, right now we're gonna go see someone about this whole situation. But we might not be up to snuff to take care of Blightclaw, but we'll be back.
All right. And if this is the last time that I see you, and I hope it's not, but thank you for taking the time to listen to more than just my song. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my story.
For the first time in a long time, I was happy to find a kindred spirit.
And once I have my heart again, I'm sure I will be happy to have met one as well.
Vice extends his good hand.
Octavian will take it. This gives you a very firm shake.
With that, Vice leaves to rejoin the party.
Yeah, so as like Clout, you're kind of like looking around, having gotten filled in by Whisper. Just, does anybody know Draconic? Vice, you are seen coming from the mushroom field.
What do you need, Rudd?
He seems a little taken aback, like this isn't his option. And then he just sort of like looks away, scratches the back of his head, and then just extends one of his hands to you. There's draconic words across his knuckles.
Vice can't hide a smile. It reads hum.
Got a tattoo and you didn't know what the language was?
Yeah, listen, I don't remember getting these, okay?
All right, I'm just saying, it feels a bit culturally insensitive.
Well, I don't know why I got it, so...
Wait, didn't you have more tattoos? I swear your arm was like... I thought you had like a sleeve at one point.
Honestly, I got turned to stone today, so...
Yeah, all right, yeah. Not really the time for a lot of questioning.
Vice is going to lean over to Lowry. On his pointer finger, it's a beetle, so it reads humbug.
All right, onward.
Okay. And Whisper hops to the front of the group. And you guys go east or westward. You cross over the bridge. And not 60 feet away from the house that you are currently staying, Whisper stops in front of yet another house.
Fucking do it.
Whisper! Whisper, is this the place?
Whisper nods, yes.
Good job.
Whisper is the best of us.
And like a little receipt being printed, the note that you had given Whisper comes out of the center. And it says, you have to show them this.
Whisper, did you actually show them that?
Nods.
Did you let them read it?
Nods.
Are they still in there?
Nods. And then pauses. And then shakes its head no. And then nods.
What?
And there's like a little like unsure glow, but Whisper seems confident.
Right, okay. Clout's gonna kind of like snatch the note. The way that you would like rip it off of like, you know, a printer. The ticker tape. Shrip. And he'll walk over to the door and kind of look back at the rest of the group and like ball up a fist like I'm about to knock. We cool with this?
Pamferdam's just going to quick look around the area to see if any of the king's loyal folk are around.
There do not seem to be any other bullywugs. Other than that.
Morgort is with us, right?
Yes.
Okay. Is there like a secret knock I should do or something? Or
Shrugs. She says, "This wasn't my revolution."
all right. Clout knocks and tries not to sound like a cop.
Use this, not this. This is cop. This is civilian.
Yes. Oh, damn it. Yeah, Clout, you give the civilians knock. And the door opens. And you can see that there's like a bullywug standing there who looks like a little shaky. And this jittery bullywug has like a spear in their hand that they are like, you can see that they're kind of like pressed up against the opening of the door, but also have like the spear ready just in case. And behind them, you can see that there is a wooden crate with hunting gear piled on top of it. Huddled in the back of the hut are 4 more bullywugs. Tension hangs heavy in the air as one of the huddled bullywugs like looks and then signals for you to enter.
Yep. Clout's just gonna hold up that note. I'm the one who wrote this.
And the jittery bullywug just and he like opens the door and says, "Hello."
Hi.
In what language?
Common.
Okay.
Cool. Hey, can we come in?
Well, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to come in. You're the one who wrote such a fascinating note, I assume. I mean, you've come with one of my new compatriots, my companions, my comrades. The one they call Whisper.
And you must be Illig.
looks. So you've heard of me. Which means...
All right, let's get inside and shut this door. Come on,
Yep.
Harry.
Yes, if you
Steps
would.
aside to let everyone file in.
Pamferdam's gonna, still holding on to the claw, bring Clapperclaw in.
And Illig stands and walks over. Just, Morgord, it's so good to see you, my dear friend. And Morgord extends a hand, and in Sylvan says, Illig, you piece of shit. I never thought I'd see you alive. And they have like a clasp. And Illig then looks towards the rest of you that have come in. He says, when I heard there were outsiders coming in, I figured that one of the best ways that I could get my revolution. No, I don't like to use big words. I'm still practicing common. I'd like to get that underway with y'all's help. I have my supporters. I have individuals that have also come to me. I had 2 possible companions that were from a balloon factory that were working on repairing. They said one of you was a magic man.
I think they're
Yo.
talking about me.
Yep.
All right, magic man. First off, I would like to say thank you
Yeah.
for helping my comrades. Now, the rest of you, how do you feel about King Golub the 19th? There's only one correct answer, mind you.
I'm kind of a butt.
That is the correct answer. So, my plan, my thought, are you familiar? I have heard studies of material world cultures that there is a thing called a meet cute, when someone like trips and falls into another person's arms and then they get all like starry-eyed when they're looking at each other, right?
Oh, toast in the mouth.
A what? Toes in the mouth?
Toast.
Toast in the mouth. I heard that was like when they're late for their learnings or something like that.
When
Now,
they bump into someone, starry eyes.
what I propose is a meet kill. Is that for this revolution to take place, we go, like, I could... How about, Morgort, if you don't mind, assuming you all escaped together, that you have assisted in such a means,
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
what if... Now, again, you all my comrades in this.
Mm-hmm.
I will be King Illig.
I was kind of expecting
If
that.
I pretend to have caught you and then take you to the king, and then as I'm approaching the king, whoops-a-doodle, I slip and my knife like goes right into the fucker. I've thought about it. He'll never see it coming. Not in 100,000 years.
Cool, 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 cool. What if that goes wrong?
I don't know what you mean. It's foolproof.
I see.
Level
Well-
with us. Do you have a backup plan in case it goes wrong?
My backup plan is all of you.
Cool. If you want us to be your backup plan, we're gonna need some hospitality because I've been dead, tired all day.
Well, that we can do. We do have trap door under this here floor that leads to a secret room that we've been using to sort of stage the preparations for my meat kill plan.
Right. The vast preparations you need for this plan.
You don't understand. I've had to practice tripping and falling and purposely like bringing out my knife at the last moment and hiding it. It has taken me weeks, nary a month, to perfect this here plan.
I just want to know how many people he stabbed doing this. How do you practice something like that?
With a wooden training dagger.
Oh my god. Sounds foolproof. He says,
Sounds
giving
like a proof
doubtful
of
look.
fools.
What did you say, Lowry?
It sounds like a proof of fools.
Yeah.
And Illig just foolproof, proof of fools. I'm learning more about common each and every day.
The second one isn't a compliment.
Well, of course, I don't think I could put either of them on a food.
That's a condiment.
Yeah, we're saying the same
compliment-
words.
No, right. Okay. We've already brought you as much as you need to get an audience with the king and return something to him. We don't need to be a part of that.
Now, if you're looking for help, you will have helped me. Reciprocity would then state that I would be able to help you.
Yes, we did just bring you the person you need to get an audience with the king. So we have helped and we will accept your hospitality. But we have no business being your in to get into that court. You have everything you need.
Yeah. Plus, I'm a non-combatant, and I am with child, so I'm not really.
Are you going to be my new dad?
You know.
Is this Finding Family?
Hang on, it's okay. Shush, shush.
Thank you, Papa.
God.
Clapperclaw like holds his nightlight closer. And Illig says, I know a thing or two about the Lady of the Lake, if that helps at all. One way that, well, seeing as how a takeover, she doesn't really like Gullop. At least that's what we've here gathered. If we get rid of him, she still doesn't exactly like turmoil on her land. So we were planning on giving her a bunch of this stuff that we found. And he points over to the top of the cargo boxes. And some of the boxes even have in large letters Bavlorna scrawled on them. Some in common with really poor penmanship, and then others in like Sylvan with much cleaner penmanship. We know that one of her hobbies, as of late, for the last while anyways, has been taxidermy, has been making fun animal-related structure. So we got a bunch of animal parts together for her to kind of like mix and match, piecemeal, the kind of thing that she likes doing. So if you help us, we can at least maybe, if you wanted to deliver that cargo to her, you would have a means of opening conversation. However, if you just want to be done with the soggy courts of downfall, I understand, but just know, comrades, you have a place in this here revolution. And my plan would go a lot smoother if y'all would accompany me.
Let us sleep on it. We'll give you our decision in the morning.
Of course, of course. Would you prefer to sleep here? Or I'm told that there is a tall house with many, many, many legs that's out down the river a little bit yonder.
Can get us out there.
I mean, I could get you a boat.
And that won't alert King Gullop.
Oh, God's on the outside of town. They're on my employ. They don't like King Gullop either. That guy's a prick.
Right.
He's a big old duty face.
Well,
Great.
if that's the case, then yeah, preferably we'd like to be safe in our own territory.
We gotta get the kid home.
I see. I understand. Non-combatants and all of that. Well, if that is the case, then I will acquire you said boat. Oglith. Oglith, can you be a deer? I think that there's a boat that looks roughly their size that's tied over by the docks if you just want to bring that on by. And the shakier guard just... and then opens the door and leaves and says goodbye as he does. Seems like he's practicing his common as well. One of my most trusted men. Drinks too much coffee, though.
That's why coffee's for grown-ups. Can I insight check Illig? Like, what are the vibes he's giving off?
Yeah. Sure,
That's
sure.
a good point.
Does Vice recognize 19 that the vibes are off in this room?
19?
Actually, it feels like the vibes are off in this room.
Illig.
Vibes have been off since we got into this adventure.
Illig is laying it out 100%. He's on the level. It might not be a good level, but he's on it.
It's a level.
It's
I mean,
a level.
Who knows how long he's going to be king after this thing goes through, but he might be better than the last one.
And he seems to be speaking the truth. I mean, as far as like conspiracies to like take down larger bodies of governments, this seems really casual. Like they're just like in one of the houses in the town behind some boxes. There's no like secret room that they're doing. Like they said they even have a secret room that he's practiced tripping and stabbing somebody with. And that's been about it. It seems like other than that, it's just like nobody else really liked the king either. And Illig, well, he seems like he's got a particular je ne sais quoi about him.
Okay. We'll wait for the boat.
Okay. And after about maybe 10 minutes or so, door opens. Hello. This Ogla. Did you get the boat? Yes. All right. We have acquired you a boat, a vessel on out of here. But keep in mind, if you do all decide to help me, I can give you title. Titles go far in a place like this. So who he is looking to become Duke of the Muckstump? Grandeur. I can't give you land, to be quite fair on that one. I can give you titles. All day. Take your
Sorry,
pick.
I can't swear fealty to anybody. I'm already sworn to the Moharandi Empire.
I don't know them. Are they in hither?
No, it's a material plain place.
I see. Do they do bread mouth and toast and all that? Meat cutes. Is that where that's from?
I'm not really tracking on any of these references really, so I can't really answer that. But we do have bread.
My God. One of these days, I too will feast upon the bread.
How much would a title... How much sway would a title like that have
So much.
beyond hither?
Well, I mean, you don't really need to go beyond hither for much. This place has everything that you need. It's got bugs. It's got
Right.
water up to your chest. Great. Keeps you
Yep.
moisturized.
Thank you, Illig. We will take it under consideration.
Got places to live. And he's just like still like... It's got ramshackle huts, far as the eye can see. Well,
Scooting
because
away,
the fog can't really see past
Like-
it.
moving towards boat.
And as you depart, you see Whisper flies over to Illig, and Illig like turns his hand into a fist, and then Whisper like pops up against it, and then goes up,
Aw.
down, and then like swivels off to the side, and he just goes, "You keep them safe, buddy." And Whisper like glows, like, "Yeah, totally do that."
hell is that? What, you've got like a secret handshake now?
And
We don't have a secret
Whisper
handshake.
and Whisper comes over to you, Clout. And when you're like, why don't we have a secret handshake? And Whisper's like, you never gave me one. And then also says, he's my comrade. We took the time to get to know each other.
Great. Good to see you making friends.
You gotta make friends.
Clout sits down in the boat in the rowing spot.
Okay, and Clout, this is your boat.
What?
Yeah, that's what I said. Motherfucker, that's our boat.
God damn it! She's like, wait a second. Because there's a missing seat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he looks down at the missing seat and he goes like, wait a second.
Don't think about it too much. You've had a concussion.
All right, cool. He's gonna row and wince every time he does so.
Okay. And your boat begins making its way back towards down this lazy river out of Downfall, and you can see coming through the fog here outside of Downfall, once again, the inn at the end of the road. And as your boat approaches, you open the door, go inside. Are you like tying off your boat or bringing the boat in with you?
I'll at least pull it up on shore.
Okay. As you open the door and come in, you can see that there are the two bullywugs from the balloon repair shop that are here in the tavern, and they wave at you.
Oh,
Welcome.
And Sue comes over to the lot of you, and she says, "Thank goodness the four of you are back. I don't speak Sylvan. I've just been giving the mushroom brew."
What do you need to know?
Why are they normally don't want anything to do with the inn? So why is it they are here now?
Why are you here?
And the bullywugs look at you and very proudly say, in common, non-combatant, and point a thumb to their chest. And then the other looks at his friend and then looks at you, and with a very sly look in his eye says, "Pacifist."
A little impressive.
Turns back
And they
to
look
Sue.
at each other and nod and then go back to their drinks.
They need a safe place to stay. They're not in any trouble, and hopefully they won't be any trouble. I'm happy to translate. And I think, Cloud, you can translate as well, right?
Sure can.
There may or may not be a revolution here, and they are seeking shelter.
And as you say that, and Sue's eyes kind of narrow at the
Sue,
idea.
Are you in the market for a bod?
She looks over at you as these questions come towards her. She just begins to kind of stammer as the two bullywugs yell, "Pacifist!"
yeah, those are both
Pacifist!
customers and employees.
That is where we are going to call it for tonight's session. So with that, I would like to say thank you to everybody who decided to stop on by and join us for this wonderful session of Dungeons and Dragons, because we couldn't do shows like this without all of y'all coming by. And speaking of people that I can't do anything without, RJ, where can I find you? What do you do?
Stop. Hey everybody, I'm RJ, and you can catch me at RJ's282 on Twitter and Twitch, where I tweet about the nerdy things in my life and sometimes stream with my friends. Whenever I go live, I tweet there, so come check it out. It's a blast. Sometimes I shitpost at like 4 a.m. Wink, DanaeKeener.com.
That means it's my turn next. Hey, everybody, I'm Sarah. I'm the HypeGoblin. You can find me on all the social medias, including Facebook now, because I broke down and got one, but I rarely post there, so have fun following me. I tweet about when I'm going live. I do a lot of character cosplay, now that you know that from this game. And I just like TTRPG stuff. DanaeKeener.com.
And I am Mediaflare. You can find me at all of the default social media places under Mediaflare in some variant, at or hashtag or whatever you need. You can find me on Twitch as well, where I stream a few gaming sessions myself, as well as stream some tabletop shenanigans. We are currently on hiatus for our tabletop stream until the circus returns, the literal circus returns in March. And there are a couple of upcoming shows coming soon, but I cannot make any announcements yet, so look forward to that. DanaeKeener.com.
Speaking of DanaeKeener.com, hi, I'm Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com. I do nerdy drawings, mostly related to D&D and a lot of things on this channel. You can also find me at Danae Keener on Twitter. I've got a pinned tweet there that says all the things that I'm up to, so go check it out. DanaeKeener.com.
And if you've made it this far, you probably already know who I am. But if you don't, hey Acorns, what's up? It's me, your buddy, your pal, your friend, the Indoor Adventurer, the showrunner here at twitch.tv/Indoor Adventures. We do shows like this on Monday and Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, as well as on Sundays at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. If this is your first time joining us, you can go to youtube.com/Indoor Adventures to check up on all of the VODs of each of the games that we have played up until this point, or you can go towards anywhere audio casts are made available for free. You can find us there under the same moniker. And speaking of things that are being made available for free, if you go to patreon.com/Indoor Adventures, you can check up on our after show called Nights in the Courtyard, the after show that we like to do for all you acorns out there, where we answer questions not only from each other, but also from the community. A community which you can be a part of if you join our Discord. The link can be found in the Twitch chat to the side or in the description of this audio cast down below. Join us in our questions for the courts chat. We will do our best to respond in kind to those questions. But for now, we are going to be heading into that after show. So I'd like to say thank you to everybody who decided to stop on by. Thank you to these players for putting up with my bullshit once again this week. And we'll see all of you guys next time. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.